Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you for joining. I wanted to seek your good wishes, your blessings, so that we can continue with this incredible Lila, Damodara Lila. And we're going through verse by verse, Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 9th chapter. And we are now on the 18th verse. So up to now, Yashoda Mai has had enough of Krishna's antics. She's realized that this boy is extremely naughty. What the neighborhood gopis have been saying is correct, and he needs to be disciplined. Otherwise, who will marry him? One of a big concern. Who is going to marry my son if he behaves like this? So she ran after him with a stick and caught him even by deceiving him. How the Lord can be deceived is very inconceivable, but her love is so intense that he can even deceive the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And she then tried to tie him to the wooden mortar, because she was thinking, if I don't tie him to something heavy, he's going to make a run for it. And he might even run into the forest, because he's behaving like the monkeys. He might just join them. And this actually she told this to Krishna. He felt very insulted by that. So anyway, she was trying to tie him. And always the rope, as much rope as they could get, would always be 2 fingers short. So then we come to this verse.
Swamatu Svina Gataraya Vishrastakabara Sraja Trishwa Parishramam Krishna Kripya Siddhi Swabandhane. Translation: because of Mother Yashoda's hard labor, her whole body became covered with perspiration, and the flowers and comb were falling from her hair. While child Krishna saw his mother thus fatigued, he became merciful to her and agreed to be bound.
This is the compassionate nature of the Lord. When he sees the devotees working hard, and even it may be something very difficult to achieve, he will give his mercy. And Yashoda Mai is a fantastic example of one who she worked so hard to tie this boy up. And he wouldn't be tied. Nobody can tie Krishna, nobody can tie God up. But he allowed himself to be tied because of her wonderful effort. And we could compare Srila Prabhupada to this as well, in the sense that in the beginning in the US, he was really trying very, very hard to spread Krishna consciousness, but it was so hard, so difficult, but he persevered. He never stopped. And Krishna was very merciful and gave him all facilities to spread this movement all over the world. So this is the nature of service. When one does service, one does it sincerely and with best effort and intention, then the Lord will always be merciful. Why will he not be merciful? He is very personal, especially towards his devotees. So all we have to do is make the effort. Okay. While embracing Krishna, Yashoda Mai called for more rope. The elder gopis spoke among themselves.
How unusual that Yashoda Mai can tie her arms around her son, but not ropes. How is this possible?
So she's hugging him, got her arms around him, but the rope doesn't go around him. This is a great example. So this is a fantastic painting. She's got her arms around him, but the rope never is always 2 fingers short. No matter how hard she tries, Yashoda Mai is unable to realize her plan. Such an over endeavor. Why does she not give up? Oh, carry on.
You are a queen and advisor to the king in matters of state, but yet you cannot even tie your own baby.
So they're winding her up. They're taking the Mickey out of her. Because she's the queen. She's always been the boss. But now they've had an opportunity to make fun of Mother Yashoda in a nice way, of course.
There are supernatural forces at work here, and it would appear that Krishna is none other than the Supreme Lord himself.
Yashoda Mai acknowledged their wisdom with a nod of her head. For a brief moment, she understood Krishna to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But only for a moment. To her, he may be the Supreme Lord, but he was also her son. She had undertaken to tie him up just after sunrise. Wow, long time. Just after sunrise. Although the sun had begun its descent, so afternoon, her efforts remained fruitless. So that was a huge adventure.
Oh.
It's a nice one, yeah, beautiful. She had been trying to tie the knot for hours. Overwhelmed with fatigue and frustration, she sat down to review her plan.
Oh.
Oh, what to do with this boy?
Okay.
At that moment, Krishna reasoned, she is so determined to discipline me. Such devotional resolve must be honored and rewarded. Perhaps I should give up my stubbornness and let her have her way. My divinity is of no significance to her. How marvelous that her love for me is not tainted by any awe and reverence, but simply a desire to please me, to protect me, to correct me. This is truly extraordinary. The rising compassion in Krishna's heart implored him, give yourself to her, do as she wills. Do as she wills. Not because being bound is part of an eternal pastime, but because she wants it. This is the compassionate nature of Krishna. Yashoda Mai wiped her brow, reflected on what had been happening and what has been said. And she was giving up the idea of binding Krishna. At the same moment, Krishna decided, I submit. Yashoda Mai had been knotting ropes for hours. Although she decided to stop, by the agency of Yoga Maya, her hands continued the momentum. So she tied one more knot. And that was the knot which bound Krishna. Yes, Dalivin. Oh, okay.
All this was happening. Where was Nand Baba, Prabhuji?
Yes. He was away at his brother's house, Sunanda's house, in Safari, I think. Something like that. No?
Not Safari.
No. In a place called Safari. Apparently, I think. So yeah, he was away. He went Sahara. And he went to do some ceremony there for a change. Normally he would be here at home.
Usually, that they do the Indra Puja. So usually he does it. So that year, his brother was organizing it. So that's where they went. This is for the day after for Govardhan Puja.
Why?
And also, if Nand Baba had been there, this pastime would not have taken place. Nand Baba or Rohini, even Balaram, if he'd been there, this pastime would not have taken place. So all three of them were missing. And that was an arrangement by the Lord, so that this pastime could take place and the love between mother and son evolves even further. So it was a plan.
And can I ask one more question about the milk?
Yes.
Yeah, I read somewhere that the milk is described as a living person and it becomes jealous. Yeah?
Yes, that's right. Everything in the spiritual world is conscious.
Oh, conscious, yes.
Yeah. So the milk is a conscious living entity. And he was feeling, look, how can I, or she was feeling, how can I compete with Mother Yashoda's milk? That milk is so delicious. And Krishna is drinking it. And he will be completely full. So what's the point of my existence? So that's why the milk came up, and started to jump into the fire.
And
Yeah, I always say that always a hidden agenda by Krishna.
Yeah, that's right. He's always got a few plans up his sleeve.
And the servants at Nanda Baba's house, they were busy doing other things, or they were not there?
That's correct. What happened? They were, only one came in the morning, and the others, they were all preparing for Deepavali. So they were cleaning the house, making sweets, a bit like Karuna here. So in that way, they were all engaged. And then this one maidservant, even she left after Mother Mai had got ready. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So completely alone. And this was not very often mother and son are alone like this. There's always somebody there. Hence why it's such a unique pastime. Nobody here.
Thank you.
No, thank you. So, yeah, what's the time? Yeah, let's read this as well.
This is verses 19 to 21. Maharaj Parikshit, this entire universe with its great exalted demigods like Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma, and Lord Indra is under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yet the Supreme Lord has one transcendental attribute. He comes under the control of his devotees. This was now exhibited by Krishna in this pastime. Neither Lord Brahma nor Lord Shiva, nor even the goddess of fortune, who is always the better half of the Supreme Lord, can obtain from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the deliverer from this material world, such mercy as received by Mother Yashoda. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the son of Mother Yashoda, is accessible to devotees engaged in spontaneous loving service, but is not as easily accessible to mental speculators, to those striving for self-realization by severe austerities and penances, or to those who consider the body the same as the self.
Yeah, some incredible instructions in these verses. He comes under the control of his devotees. This is the point. The devotees, and it's not easy to get Krishna to trust us. But once he does, and it's not easy because once he does trust us, then potentially the devotee can control the Lord. The devotee doesn't have any desire to control the Lord. He just wants to serve and please the Lord. And that is what controls the Lord. Whatever he wants to do to please the Lord will submit to that. Hence why the Lord submitted to being bound by Yashoda Mai. Otherwise, why would the Lord want to become bound like this? Only because he comes under the control of his devotee. This is really extraordinary concept. And I like the way it says, even the goddess of who's always the better half of the Supreme Lord, which shows that even in mundane material life, the female aspect is always the better half of the combination of the male and the female. And Krishna is not easily accessible. Even those who speculate about him, he's this, he's not this, he's that, he's not that. Even those who strive for self-realization by doing severe austerity, he's not going to be accessible. and definitely not those who consider the body the same as the self. But he is accessible to those devotees who are engaged in spontaneous loving service. So when we do some seva for the Lord, especially when it comes from our heart, that pleases the Lord very, very much. So, spontaneous service. 2 years, 2 months old. All right. As soon as Krishna was bound, the 100 lengths of rope miraculously appeared and fell in a carpet around him. Seeing this, Yashodamai was bewildered. Looking more closely, she saw that Krishna's belly was now bound with the 2 original silken ropes that came from her plaited hair. Only those cords could contain Krishna. All the other rope for churning had been of no consequence. Yashodamai now consciously tied together the 2 cords into another knot and then quickly tied 1 more knot, just in case. And she also checked that the knots were still there. I mean, it was quite bewildering, this whole exercise. Mission accomplished. The transcendental thief has been caught and bound. Good job. Now she can move on to the next task at hand. She took the rope that had been tied to the mortar and connected it to the cord encircling Krishna's waist. Then she proceeded to give him 1 more telling off for good measure. She caught him now. He's got nowhere to go.
I hope you will now learn your lesson and follow the saintly conduct of your father instead of the mischief of the monkeys.
Oh, here we go again. Krishna thought, what's going on? Reference to the monkey insult yet again. Yashodamai stood up and before turning to leave, addressed Krishna. You will stay where you are until I clean up the chaos you have made. In the meantime, there will be no play, no toys. When I am done, then I shall come for you and we will go and see the Diwali celebrations. Do you understand? Krishna sheepishly lowered his head, feeling completely humiliated before his friends and whimpered, yes, mother. Yashodamai embraced and repeatedly kissed his cheek, saying, you started this day off as a troublemaker. Now, finish it as a good boy. Telling his friends to stay there and keep an eye on Krishna, Yashodamai turned with a victorious smile, invited her gopi friends to help her clear the mess in the house. Again, showing service to Krishna takes precedence. So this is coming again and again. How Krishna may be right in front of us, but service to Krishna is more important than rendering personal service to Krishna. And this also applies in the case of the spiritual master. I remember one time a spiritual master, he was in a St. George's Hospital just after a cataract operation. And I went to see him. And he asked me, what are you doing here? Why have you come to see me? I want you to go and, at that time we were busy with Janmashtami magazine. He said, you should go and serve and collect some donations for the magazine. This is going back like nearly
25 years.
26, 27 years. And it was amazing. I did what he said. I went to the shops in Tooting at that time. And I think we got like £1,000, which is a lot of money at that time, from the donations for the Janmashtami magazine. So this is the thing about following or doing service for the Lord, or following the order of the spiritual master. It always leads to success. The remaining gopis teased Krishna.
Oh, Prince, now that you are bound, which is Dhamma, around your belly, Udar, we shall call you Damodara.
His friends joined in calling Krishna Damodara, and Krishna thought, this is how everyone will now tease me. This is adding insult to injury. So initially he considered the name as an insult. But of course, now we know Damodara is a very fond. As time passed and Damodara Lila became a fond memory, Krishna will treasure that name as one of his favorites. At present, though, it sounded like an insult, and he made his displeasure known with a frown on his sweet face. As soon as Yashodamai left, Krishna cast aside his sad face and forced tears. He assumed a composed demeanor and filled the courtyard with the moonlight of his smile. Making the best of his predicament, he boasted to his friends, just see how I kept my mother at bay. The boys answered,
it was a memorable exhibition. Now tied to this motor, what will you do?
Bound to the motor, Krishna still found ways to play with his friends. Friends who are pure devotees wanting to play with him as a child. There you go.
All friends are chubby like Krishna. Look at them.
A lot of makar, that's why.
Yeah.
Which they steal from the neighbors' houses. Remembering his predicament, Krishna's eyes would now and then well up with tears. Seeing this, the monkeys became increasingly excited, and his friends lovingly tried to console him. Some boys tried to ease caution as embarrassing by offering him a snack. So, friend, would you like me to ask my mother for some yogurt? So they would ask, the boys would ask Krishna this. At the sound of the word yogurt, Krishna became aware of his hunger. The skirmish with his mother crossed the timelines of several meals, during which he had not eaten anything, but he was still very sharp. Okay, silly, your mother is at my house. Why bother her? Some of you should run to your homes and see what is available. So this is the grand master of thievery. In great happiness, the boys would run home and bring whatever was available and feed Krishna. In this way, they enjoyed a picnic. Then Krishna started to test the motor. How heavy was it? He started pulling the motor. To the applause of his friends, Krishna slowly dragged the motor here and there, occasionally sitting down to catch his breath. So we can stop there. So text number 22, we'll do tomorrow. So this is really amazing pastime, amazing pastime. Any questions? Any comments, questions? Anything you'd like to?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. Surinder, anything you'd like to add? Are you there?
Hare Krishna. Dandavad Prabhu, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, I've got a verse. So,
Great.
Sri Nityananda Chandram Patita Sharanadam Gauradam Tam Bhajeham. So the verse recited by the gopis as follows. Vipralambhe Shri Krishna Balabhanam api Grihasaktavad Dainyokti Ahuschate Nalina Nabha Padaravindam Yogeshwara Ridi Vichintam Agada Bodhai Samsara Kupa Patito Taranavalam Geham Jusamapi Manasi Udiyat Sadana. So, like persons attached to hearth and home, even the gopis, the damsels beloved of Lord Shri Krishna, humbly petitioned the Lord in his separation. O lotus-naveled one, your lotus feet, eternally held as the object of meditation within the hearts of the greatest yogis of profound intellect, are the only resort for delivering those souls fallen into the well of material life. May those holy lotus feet graciously appear within the hearts of we ordinary household ladies. This verse recited by the gopis. Nitai Gora Haribol Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Very nice. Hare Krishna.
Thank you
Very
for
nice.
sharing that.
Thank you very much. Nitai Gora.
So we can actually, Naniben, you don't get a chance to join us so much. So we were thinking, Jayanti was thinking we could sing the Damodara Aarti now. And you can offer the lamps if you like, or even mentally even can offer the lamps.
Yes.
Whatever is convenient. And no, I can just do it here. Oh no, yes. Jayanti can show you her setup today.
Wow.
Very interesting setup. Who'd like to sing Damodar Aarti? Anybody like to have a go?
I can have a go, but I will make a lot of mistakes.
No, that's okay. Let me just take off the volume, Amati.
Hare Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Wow. Wow. Very nice.
So what's actually going on here? Anybody take a guess? What Lila is happening?
There's music going on with the mardanga and all that.
There's something here.
Harinam.
The Yagya Kund.
Okay.
You're doing Havan, Prabhuji?
Yeah. And who's doing the Havan with the
Ganesha?
Ganesha?
No, that's put with the Brahmins.
They're the Brahmins.
Brahmins.
Brahmin.
Oh, yeah. Brahmins are there. Ganesha is there too. Lovely.
And this is at Krishna Balarama there. And this is actually the Lila where the Brahmins, the Gopas will go to Brahmins and ask for food, and they say, no, we're doing yagya. Go away. And then the Brahmin wives were approached by the Gopas, and they are devotees of the Lord, and they gave Krishna and Balaram lots and lots to eat. So, well done. All right. So, yes, Naniben, you're welcome to sing, and if you're struggling, we'll do it together.
Yes. Who is singing with me?
I can do it. Or
please, yes, Prabhuji. Yes, somebody should do it, and I will join.
All right.
I can do it, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol, Sadhu.
Yes, yes, you can sing.
I can do it.
Very good.
Namami Sharam Sachid Ananda Rupam Lasad Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Bhiyolu Kalad Dhabmahanam Padam Ristam Atyanta Drutya Gopya Ruddantamur Netra Yugmam Rajantam Karam Bhuja Yugmena Satankanetram Mohu Swasakam Pahatire Kankakantha Istit Graivam Damodara Bhaktibhagam Iti Driksha Lila Bhid Ananda Kunde Swagosham Nimajantam Makyapayantam Tadiyasi Tajmesu Bhakarjitadvam Punah Prematastam Sata Vritivande Varam deva moksham na mokshavadim va nachanyam vediham parisadapiha idam teva purnath gopal balam sada manasi me abhisram kimanye idam te mukham bhojam atyantanile Nitam kuntale snigdharaktasya gopya mohuskumbitam bimbarakta manasi avirastam malam lakshalabe Namo deva damodar anant vishnu prasidh prabhu dukha jalabhi manam Kripa dristi vrisyati dinam vatanu grahani samama gyanadi akshrisya kuveratmajo badha mutyaiva yadva Tvaya muchito bhakti bhajo krito cha Tatha prema bhaktim swakam me prayacha Na moksha graho me asti damodariha Namaste sudhamne spuradipti damne Tvadiyodaraya tabhivashya dhamne Namo radhikaye tvadiya priyaye Namo anantalilaye devaya tubhyam Namami sharam sachid anandarupam Lasad kundala gokule brajmanam Yashodabhiyolukhalad dhavamanam Param ristam atyantatu nritya gopiya Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Radhe Jaya Radha Damodar Radha Damodar Radhe Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram Jaya Vrindavan Dham Jaya Vrindavan Dham Vrindavan Dham Jaya Vrindavan Dham Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Krishna Das Maharaj Jaya Krishna Das Maharaj Krishna Das Maharaj Jaya Krishna Das Maharaj Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai, Shri Nrsimha Prayas ki jai. Gaur Premanand. Karyan Sadhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Very, very good. Very good.
Yes, carry on, Prabhu, with
Yes,
prayers,
please. Thank you.
Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya Namaste Jaste Jase Avirbhava Vraja Nakha Vraja Damstra Karma Sayan Randhaya Randhaya Tamo Grasa Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Atmani Bhuyista Om Shro Swasti Astu Vibhasya Kalaha Prasidatam Dhyayantu Bhutani Shivam Dhiya Manasya Bhadram Bhajata Dadaksaje Aveshatam no Matir Api Ahaituki Magaradaratma Jvita Bandhusu Sango Yadishad Bhagavad Priye Sunah Yah Prana Vritya Paritusta Atmavan Siddhyati Adhura Natatandriya Priya Yat Sangalabdham Nijavirya Vabhaivam Tirtham Muhusam Sprisatam Hi Manasam Harati Ajo Antaha Srutavir Gatu Angajam Kuvaina Sevat Mukunda Vikramam Yasyasti Bhakti Bhagavati Akinchana Sarvai Gunestatra Samasate Suraha Harava Bhaktasya Gutamahadaguna Manorathanna Sati Dhavato Bahi Harirhi Shakshat Bhagwan Saririnam Atma Jasanam Ivatuyam Ipsitam Hidva Mahamstam Yadi Sajat Grihe Tada Mahadvam Vayasadam Patinam Tasmat Visadamanyu Mana Dainiya Dimulam Idvagraham Samsrit Chakravalam Narsim Padam Bhatatat Kuto Bayamiti Ugram Viram Mahavishnu Jwalantam Sarvato Mukham Narsimha Bhishan Bhadram Mrityur Mrityum Namamyaham.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita 2.8.5 Nrsimhadev Bhagavan ki jai, Bhakta Prahlad ki jai. Shri Nrsimha Jaya Nrsimha Jaya Jaya Nrsimha Prahladesha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringa Shri Nrsimha Jaya Nrsimha Jaya Jaya Nrsimha Prahladesha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringa Shri Nrsimha Jaya Nrsimha Jaya Jaya Nrsimha Prahladesha Jaya Padma Mukha Padma Bringa. All glories to Shri Nrsimhadev, all glories to Nrsimhadev, the Lord of Prahlad. All glories to you who are like a honeybee, always hovering about the lotus face of Sri. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for that, Kamashi. Shyamalini, would you like to do the Nrsimha prayers?
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you.
Namaste Nara Simhaya Praladadahini Hiranyakashi Puravaksa Siddhatanaka Nakalayi Ito Nashimo Parato Nashimo Yato yato yamita to nashimo. Bahir nashimho. Hidaye nashimho. Narashihamadim saranam prapadai. Tavakara kamalavari nakam abhuta shringam dalita hiranyakashipu tanubringam keshavadrita narahari rupa jai jagadisha hari jai jagadisha hari jai jagadisha hari Tavakara kamalavari nakam Abhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hari Jai Jagadisha Hari Jai Jagadisha Hari Jaya Narsimhadev, Jaya Narsimhadev, Jaya Narsimhadev, Jaya Narsimhadev, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. Jai Narsimhadev Bhagwan ki Jai Jai. Krishna Balaram ki Jai Jai. Gurudev ki Jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Shamali.
Hare Bol.
And tonight we are doing at 7 o'clock, so please do join us, whoever can. And tomorrow we are doing our usual Damodara. Oh, wait, tomorrow's Diwali, so we should talk about Diwali. Ramachandra. Yeah, good. Thank you so much. So we can do one round. Hare Krishna, everybody. Oh, it's still recording.